Hi all, it's another review, and as you can see, dressed in the same clothes as for the Love Bites review, which came first, hopefully, unless I put them out at the wrong time. Oh no! But I've got a couple of albums, listened to a couple of albums, so get a couple of reviews in, and I'm aiming to get more reviews in, lots of retro reviews from my collection and things like that as well, to create other parts of this channel. It's not just reaction channel. Why not? Discuss things, do things, say things, talk about things. Get under people's skin, annoy them a bit with my reviews or my decisions, my diatribes. Yeah. There's a way for you. So, this review, as you'll know from the title, is about Powerwolf and the Sacrament of Sin. Now, this one, unlike the Love Bites one, which was from an album last year, Sacrament of Sin only came out in July. And yes, I have listened to it. I've got a reaction video to a Powerwolf song a while back. I think it's from one of their previous albums. It certainly was one of the previous albums, but it's on this album if you get the deluxe version. Aha! Because the deluxe version features a second disc of songs from previous albums. It's like a best of, maybe, if it is all the songs that are best on those albums. And from what I found, the vocalist that's on it now may not have been the vocalist previously, unless his vocal style has changed a lot, because there's some different vocal styles on there. I've not really looked up the second disc, who are the people who take part in it. I'll have to look those people up. It's not too important for the review. Bloody flying here. Damn things. September has come, so the flies have come out. Didn't see them all year. Strange. Basically, this is another power metal review, and it makes me sound like I'm a bigger power metal fan, and I'm not really. It's just these are the ones that came along recently. Now, power metal is definitely an over-the-top format of metal, but Powerwolf take it to more bombastic and pompous heights. Their music is definitely of the raw sort of power metal, and this is their 7th album. 7 albums in, and until this year I'd never heard of them. Where have I been? I know a lot of bands. I'm discovering a lot more bands. It's amazing how many bands are out there. You think you know a lot of bands right now, unless you're a journalist into this thing, you probably don't. It's really crazy. They hail from Germany, and if you listen to the music, you can pretty much tell they hail from Germany, being very racist in what I say there. If you listen to Rammstein, if you listen to Accept, if you listen to the Scorpions, etc., they all have a trait in them that sounds very Germanic. Now, I can't really explain what I mean by that, but if I hear, somebody from Holland or somebody from Sweden, somebody from Spain, right, they don't sound this way. German bands have a sort of sound. And if you know what I mean, then let me know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, then tell me why you don't know what I mean. Well, I know what I mean. So, this band, as well, dip into a more theatrical side as well. They definitely one of those that put on the makeup and the costumes. And they fill a lot of songs with lots of church organ sounds and things, so they are much more over the top and bombastic, like I've said. But even though they're bombastic and over the top, they know that comes across as a bit silly. They do not take themselves seriously. Can any band who, on this album, for instance, release tracks like Demons Are a Girl's Best Friend or Nighttime Rebel, really take themselves that seriously? And that's actually another German trait I've found with several bands. The lyrics, the titles, sometimes very, very silly. Now, we know Rammstein produce a lot of stuff that's really powerful, really seriously powerful, but a lot of their lyrics and a lot of their theatrics on stage, etc., show that they're just in it for a laugh. And Powerwolf are definitely in it for a laugh as well. I would say from the off, A couple of favourite songs on there. Killers with the Cross and Night Side of Siberia are very, very good songs. I feel they're edgier and darker than most of the rest of the album. And then a fly just went past again. But most songs stick to a standard song progression throughout. Apart from there's a ballad, Where the Wild Wolves Have Gone. And I definitely had to read that one out because I keep thinking the wolves have gone, but I couldn't remember where the wild part had gone in that. And it's definitely a change-up. So, unlike when I talked about Love Bites where everything was the same, while Powerwolf have their sound and style, every song definitely messes with that. There's no two songs that are too the same to make you go, ah. In fact, I would say most of their stuff is perfect for an action anime, a gothic style anime maybe. It opens up with Fire and Forgive, and that could easily be an opening credit thing for the anime Attack on Titan, for instance. I know Epica covered that recently, and I did a reaction video to that. But Powerwolf could easily create their own song for Attack on Titan, or an anime similar to that. That's the style of music that they're really pumping out. And this is a power metal album where you haven't constantly got the kick drums going throughout the song, every song going throughout every song, like some of them wanted to do. They're there, they happen, but they don't happen all the time. They're not slave to the rhythm, as it were, or the driving rhythm of the drums. And they also aren't enthralled to 5-minute solos either. So another good trait, just like Love Bites, where these guys aren't going like, right, we've had a bit of a la la la, right, let's all sit back and listen to the guitar. Right, did you enjoy those 4 minutes? No, I love solos, but a whole album just full of solos, constantly the same style all the time, having solo duels constantly, removing it away, removes it from the quality of the song a lot of the times. A solo is there to help the song along, to lift up the song, to give it some oomph, not to detract from it. And Powerwolf definitely know that that's the case, and they do not go over the top. I would say, as a little caveat, this is probably, most of you are going to go, yeah, there's no problem for me. Some people will probably find it a problem. The vocalist on this album, he's got very gruff sounding vocals, and his vocal style might well put you off. Now, I'd liken it to Udo Dirkschenker from Accept. His vocals, I remember when I heard the Balls to Wall album for the first time as a kid, I just went, no, 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 no. And I put that album away, and I think it might have been a couple of years before I came back to Balls to the Wall. I thought, oh, I'll listen to it, and suddenly it clicked. I'd matured over those years. I got used to listening to other music and other sounds and stuff, and his weird, grumbly, abrasive vocals fitted somehow with the classic sounds of Accept, and it worked. And his vocals do it for me as well. They're fine for me, but I can appreciate that other people might go, no, the sound is great. Then his vocals like raspingly sound to him. He's not a growler. He's not a it's not harsh. Well, in that sense, he's just I mean, I don't know what the word could be. Crumbly, raspy. That might be better. So that might be an off-put for some of you. For me, it just adds to the overall enjoyment of the sound. In fact, this band, you could almost say they're a yo-ho-ho style metal band, because a lot of them you could see pirates drinking to this kind of music, if they'd had that kind of music back then. Not Somali pirates, of course, because they have their own kind of music, but I'm talking about Western pirates, yo-ho-ho style pirates. So that's because most of the songs turn into sing-alongs. Really, you can actually sing along quite happily to them. So that's it, really. I think this is a cracking good metal album. Maybe there's too many songs. Maybe the deluxe version made it over the top. But if I ignore the deluxe version, because it's basically a best of other albums, and I look at this album, and it's my first album by them anyway, I would say this is a stonking good power metal, piratical style yo-ho-ho metal album. I would give it 7 out of 10. It doesn't make me go, yes, I've got to get more Powerwolf albums. But it does make me go, yes, I want to listen to this album again and again. But at some stage I'll get fed up of it. At some stage very soon. And then it'll go into the collection, gather dust for a few months, and then I'll listen to it again. It's not one of those I will be grabbing out and listening to every couple of weeks or something. It'll be every couple of months, which is why I've given it a 7. Good solid 7, but a 7 nonetheless. If you agree with me, then yeah. If you don't agree with me, then why? I'll be willing to hear your arguments for and against. Do you like Powerwolf? Have you heard any Powerwolf? If you haven't heard any Powerwolf, check out my reaction video. I'll put a link in the description for my reaction video of the Powerwolf song I did, so you can hear for yourself. With that, hope you enjoyed the review. One day I might actually come across as being more professional at these. Hopefully I've entertained a little bit, and I'll stop right here before you just get fed up with me talking on and on and on. Bye!